Okay, so as I was telling you that I had nutted this client up because she has male pattern baldness. If you notice, it's very thin inside here, and all up in here there was really nothing. So what I did was I took some hair extension and braided into her hair just to create some kind of pattern, just to grab this net to hang on. And then I started attaching the net to the perimeters of this hair. But when you come to pieces like this is great to make a like a track. So what I do, I like to sew this down and just kind of make it into a track, so it'll give me something to hold hair onto, like some kind of base of some sort. So I'm going to continue doing this and watch what I do here. I'm just going to do this and watch it starts looking like a little bump here, so it'll give it like the effect of a track. See, it's starting to poof. All this is just excess netting that I'm using, and I'm using that to make a track. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start going back. I want to make sure this is down first. If you notice that, I'm just making sure this is all down. And now I'm going to start going backwards because I want to try to get this to really become something for her to hold on to. And other ways I have done things too is I actually took a piece of hair and put it through here, and then actually drew it across here and sewed it down. I'll show you that right quickly. Let me get a piece of hair. I'll be right back in a second. Okay, so as I said, I went to go grab some hair. So what I'm going to do is I take the crochet hook, and most people are familiar with the crocheting that's going on. So I just find my little entry. I go in. I get put this on here. It's a little tough, but we'll get past it because it's just a hunk of hair we sewed down with thread. I put some hair in there, and then I pull that back out. And then what I'm doing is creating another track. And what I'll do is I sew this down, or I make a braid, and then I sew that braid right to this net, because there's nothing underneath. There's nothing to attach. So we got to make something, so when we bring that weave up into here, it'll actually hang on to something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually braid this up right quickly and then continue on. Okay, so as I told you, I braid up this piece of hair and bring it straight across, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with it very shortly. And I just keep braiding it up, and then when I get to the end here, I just do the same thing. I bring it back through some of the netting. I found this would work beneficial for some clients who have this issue. I mean, we have to have something to help them. So okay, and then I'm just going to knock that at the end like that. And then what I do is, now take notice what I'm going to do now. Sorry for the jumpy camera. I got my thread, and what I'm doing is, I told you I create tracks with my netting and stuff. So now I go back and I sew this down. I sew that netting right to that braid that I just put up inside there. You see there? I'm just making a whole new track. Something that she didn't have, and something that'll help support that piece of hair, because we don't want all the weight to fall here and this draws up. So we'll do this and get that going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing this all the way across, and then I'll be back to show you what I've accomplished here. Okay, so you pretty much got the idea what I did here. Made a braid, connected it in here, and now look, it gave her some more stability, something for that weight of that weave hair to catch on to, because just putting it right here is so weak, and this will flip up and down. So, but we're going to fix all that shortly. So we're going to be back in touch. Okay, so now that I completed this track here, what I'm doing is I went back, and I'm going back into this track just by actually just making like support lines. I call them support lines for me, because I like to know that the customer is comfortable and she don't have to worry about this hair moving around. And then I come back inside here and make it tight. And so far, if you notice, it's tighter. We can barely move it out. So then so this is what I'm doing. I'm going back in, and I'm making, like, you can call them railroad lines or zigzags or whatever, but it's just the way I do it for my clients. And if you notice, I'm just going in like that. And see? And this just makes it tight. It gives it an extra support. So if you see right up inside here, that's what I did here. I'm just doing that. So let me show you another way. Another one. I'm going back inside there. And then I'm coming back. And I'm going to continue this all the way to the end. It's just like a bunch of little V's. And then I'm taking it up into there. See? And it just makes it tight. And so far the customers like it. And they're comfortable. And they're saying that their top is a lot tighter on them. And I mean, they don't have nothing there to hold on to. They got to have some kind of security for themselves. It's all about ourselves feeling good. That's what we're here for, to help them feel good. So, and everybody who's in the hair business know, okay? So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to continue going on to this. And the next thing we're going to start adding our tracks, okay? Okay, so what I did was I went on and started attaching the hair to her netting. And so now we're right here to the part that we added. See how it's nice and tight now right there? So now we have something to add some hair to. Before we didn't have that. That net was there, but the net is kind of weak. So we're just adding hair right to that net, and then that'll give us a second row to go in the back, and then we're going to just continue this around. And she just wants a simple little page boy cutty, I don't know, something of that nature. But notice how this is able to hang on to that. If that wasn't there, there'd be nothing to grab. And then we're going to attach it right on into that. Okay? I'm going to continue moving on. All right, so I'm just attaching. If you notice, I'm still doing this front. And just trying to get that hair too. So she'll have something there. See, it's nice and tight. She likes it so far, so it's feeling more secure for her. So I've been getting people coming in with that from various areas, asking if I could attach something to the front of their hair, because some have been wearing braids for a long time and they have nothing here in the front. So, and I have another video. Hopefully I'll have a video for you shortly on another one who's going to get braids, and she has nothing here in the front. So we're going to show you how to work on that too. Okay, so we're going to try to finish this out, and then we'll be back to show you the end very shortly. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm continuing to braid her hair around. I'm just going right in the circle in her hair to create her hairstyle she's looking forward to getting. Okay, so we're going to continue going around and around until we get this all in there. We're using gray and black hair, which is called silver. It's called Foxy Silver. I'll show you the box, the packaging. But this is what we're using. It's called Foxy Silver. It's just not quite as silver as this lady here. But it does have gray streaks in it, if you notice that. So we're going to keep going around, and we'll be back to show you. I just want to show you what I did here. What I did was, I usually go around the circle, but because this is our final braid that we have here that has some support, I started, when I got around my circle, I stopped here, and then I made like a smile and went and sewed it this way. And so now I'm going back in there, and I'm going to go back this way and continue that way. And I want to make it so I can get to the top and make my little circle so it'll support this, okay? So we're going to make it where it'll go right in between this area, okay? And I'll be back to show you that shortly too. What I'm doing here is I'm going right into the actual tract, because we're right at that point now where we want to just start making a curve. And plus, you know, we didn't want her front too heavy. So when we did it, that's probably when we did the smile face style braid, you know, taking the hair in, it actually helped to take away some of the weight here, because she didn't want too much hanging in her face, but we wanted all that weight to be here. So we just went around like I showed you, back and forth, and then we got to this point. Now we're starting to get to a closing up section. So I'm going in the track, not under the track. So like the weft. So what I'm saying is, most of you are probably familiar with this, but I'm going into to the track. I'm going into this piece right here. I'm pushing the needle through there and not under. Okay, so right inside there, because we're right at this point. We want to get this point just pretty much closed up. So, and then we'll just take and twirl it in there until we get it closed up in there. We'll just smooth it down. But see how we're going right into that area? That's what you want to do when you get there. See how we're just doing that? We're just going to continue doing this until we get to a little tiny hole. And then we're going to just finish this off. Okay, and see, just turn it. And as you get done, you're going to keep turning it. And it's going to keep turning until we get inside. So now we're turning it again, but we're going inside the weft and picking up that net. Okay, so I'm going to have to rethread. So I'll be back in a second as we get closer to the end. All right, okay, so now that we're at this point here, we're coming to pretty much our close. Because this is a weft that can be kind of tough, I just want you to take and just kind of just bend it a little bit and put your finger inside there and just kind of bend it around a little bit. Most people are using like the closures and stuff like that, but this little lady didn't want to use a closure. She just, because it was hot, and she felt like she'd just rather just have it this way. So we're going to just work it into this like that. So now that we're down to this point, I like to keep closing as far as I can go until I get a buttonhole, and then if I need, then I'll take this hair and curl it into that and make a little bun. So I'm going to continue that. When I get to that little tiny piece, I'm going to come back and show you what I got there. Okay, so I'm down to this point now, and so what I'm doing is I'm pushing this piece right down inside there as tight as I can get it. So if you notice, it's just only a little tiny little pinhole by the time I'm done. Okay, so, and you're just going to take your needle and continue going through, as I told you, right through the weft. Get right in that weft and pick up what you can get under there. Not the scalp, of course, but you know, some of your hair that you put in there. And you're just going to keep pulling that through until you can get that as tight as you can get it up in the top where it won't be seen anymore. Because see how it's starting to disappear? And then I'm going to eventually cut this off. Sometimes I tend to hide this little piece up underneath here in a spare part and then take hair over top of it. Okay, we'll be back with our finish. Okay, so what I did was here, I closed her up, and then sometimes you can just go back inside there with your needle and kind of just pull pieces in if you have to. Like I'm just pulling this in because it made like a little tiny hole, and it makes it tight and it flattens it down for you. So, and then you take your flat iron or curlers or whatever you got that's got some heat to it, and you flatten this down and it actually fall right in place for you. See how that worked? It worked out good. Okay, now we're going to do our finish. So we're just going to just do cut the bang some for her. I just twisted it a little bit so it'll give it some kind of something in the front, and then we're going to layer this just a little bit and then make it go around her face. That's what she wants. Basic do. She had an entire weave put in, and it's done with gray and black hair mixed. Remember, it was by Foxy Silver. And we gave her she wanted like a page boy cut, so which is pretty common for some of my seniors. They like the page boy. And the front, we took the bang. She doesn't want to show her face, so we took the bang and we layered it just a little bit to give her some fullness in the front. And we'll just show you just a corner of it, and that's it. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Fern from the House to Glamour. Bye.